What's up, guys? Matt from Soundrolling.com here with the Wisycom mtp41 pocket transmitter. Now, this is the single one. This is the dual one, just so you can see a rough difference. There's obviously the only difference in size is basically the width of a battery. But let's just focus on this one for now, and I will bring up just the manual for reference. Always good to read the manual, especially if you can get the right manual. So, what we have. Firstly, you're going to get a varying transmitter where whichever country you live in. But it does cover a very wide range. This is the 616. So this is specifically for like channel 38 and a few more channels around that. You will get several antennas with you, or you should do, according to the manual. I have just borrowed these. These are not my own, so do forgive me. Yeah, so you should get a couple, and then they will fit all the various banks and give you all that beautiful, wide-ranging frequency joy that everyone craves. Then we have a 3-pin LEMO connection for your microphone. Really like the connection, actually. It's very kind of solid. It's kind of a clip-in like you would plugging in a LEMO into an Alexa or something, and then screwed tight. So it's very tough. Again, unless the talent are really going at it. You can see that we have like an on and off. So that's off, that's on. Ta-da! And what we have at the front is basically a kind of general light, which covers everything from kind of modulation to battery life. So a steady green means that the battery life is good. When it starts steadily blinking, then that means that it's gone down to less than 25%. When it's kind of rapidly blinking, then it's gone down to less than 12%. So those are kind of good indicators to have. And then inside, we see that we're going to have, this is where we put our battery, rechargeable battery in this case, 2,900 milliamps, which is great. You can also put lithium in or alkaline batteries as well. And we have two kind of quick shortcuts for channel and for gain. But we actually have kind of the rest of the menu structure by just moving the select button forward. But these two are kind of your entry points to a menu that kind of just cycles round. So, for instance, we first go to our kind of status. And this is showing like the battery life. In a bit more detail, it's showing us what frequency we're on, what our gain is at, what our high-pass filter is at. The menu does go off quite quickly, actually, which is great for obviously setting stuff and then set and forget, but for a demonstration purpose, not great. So if we roll around to the right, you can go all the way around the menu, so we'll end with lock, for instance. So it's quite easy to get to all the points without having to constantly click. So next we have presets, and the presets are basically kind of predefined kind of setups for different mics. So some come built in, like the COS11, the MK40 3 wire, 2 wire. The what's it called, DPA Fine series, and DPA 40XX, and then we just have a general user, and we have factory setting. And you can also customize some more settings. Oh, also line. And you can also customize some more settings using some funky software that I will have to do another video on. So we're using COS 11s, Sanken COS 11, so that's fine. And we saved it to user. Next we're on to tuning in a bit more detail. So we have the channel, and then we have the group, and then we have the frequency in more detail. And then we go to the AF gain, so we can kind of, if I bring this closer, you can see that now I'm kind of peaking at around -18. That's going to be perfect because we're going to go line level into our recorder. And so that'll kind of give us the best range. And then we still have quite a lot of headroom in case there's any shouting. Yeah, sorry for that demonstration. Then we have, so that's manually moving the gain. Then we have phase in case we need that. High pass filter. 60 Hertz on this one. Noise reduction is just kind of standard, built in. Then we have the RF power. Now we can only go up to 50 milliwatts in the UK. Boo-hoo. But you guys in the US will probably get 250, I guess. And just the battery type. So we've got nickel metal hydride, but there is also the lithium option. And this is just to give you a more, and an alkaline option. This is just to give you, obviously, a better battery reading. Otherwise, you might find that suddenly things start to die. Then we have the LED lights, so you can make this actually brighter. So let's put it to its brightest. And then let's put it to its lowest, which is off. So it's pretty low. So we're having somewhere in the middle now. It's quite easy to see. And we're going with mode peak. So essentially when there's a... So when I modulate it or overmodulate it, then the LED shows. You can also have it as this PTT mode, and I'll kind of discuss that more with the when I do the thing on the kind of demonstration on the receiver, dual receiver. But essentially, it's kind of a funky talkback mode. So we just need to keep it on mode peak because PTT is going to be kind of more of a special mode. Then we have the mode for what type of mic we're going to put in. So 2 wires and a bias. There's also, effectively, as long as it has 2 wires. Oh, come on. Why is it not selecting that? I wonder. I think it's because I've locked it, haven't I? Da-da-da-da-da. But basically, there's two other options for the wire distribution. So you'd actually get in this menu, which is locked, and I forget how to unlock these things, but it's probably there in the menu somewhere. You also have the option for just 2 wires without bias, and that means PTT is possible for external audio input. 2 wires and bias is possible for most 2-wired mics. And let's just make sure I don't do that. And then, we have 3 wires, which means that there's no PTT, which is again that special kind of talkback mode, private channel stuff. Then we have the name, so that's pretty self-explanatory. And then we have a bit more detail in terms of like the build number, the info in terms of serial number and things like that. And then the IRDA means that there's kind of more firmware options, again, more in the software area. And lock, keep toggle pressed to enable RF and lock. So that's when we can lock the whole unit and stop anyone playing with it. Okay, so that pretty much sums up everything to do with the menu. I'll be doing subsequent videos comparing this to the Lectrosonics, which would be quite nice, both with COS 11s. But now, let's move over to the big boy, the mtp40s, for supersize, I guess, or something similar. And you'll note that it's exactly the same layout, and we're able to go into the menu, and there is no great difference at all, because we still go on to presets, and then user, and then tuning, and then AF gain, and then phase, low pass filter, noise reduction. The bigger one has a limiter built on, so that's different. And then we have power. Power is exactly the same, that's exactly the same, that's exactly the same, that's exactly the same. So basically, all you're getting with the bigger one is essentially a bit more battery life, and double the battery life, and a limiter. So there you have it. So that's the difference between those two. And before we go on to test these two compared to the Lectrosonics, we shall move on to the dual receiver. So join me next for that.